Well, very good morning. I've had some tech issues, humbly. And let's see if we can get this right. All right. Hopefully my head is not getting cut off. If anybody's out there and can let me know if my head's getting cut off, if we have a good pick, that would be helpful. But if not, that's okay. I think we're good to go. All right. And we'll start here right on time. I like to write on time, be right on time, and end on time. We'll set up our blocks, get yourself set up. Just checking in with my tech lady, make sure that we're good to go. I don't have to readjust anything. All right. Let us begin. It looks like 7:59. Well, very good morning to you. Coming into 8 o'clock. My name is Eric, and I am a veteran, and I'll be guiding your yoga practice today. I'm representing Comeback Yoga, which is a nonprofit organization that offers free yoga classes and training for veterans up and down the Front Range of Colorado, from the eastern parts of the plains of Colorado to the western slopes and everything in between. If you have time to volunteer, if you are able to attend our in-person or on Zoom classes, we sure would love to have you. You are invited. Bring yourself and bring your friends and family. And then, of course, if you have any resources that you're able to help fund this amazing program, we sure could use your help. All right, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our practice. We're working on the upper body. And then our emphasis this month is on rhythm and flow. Rhythm and flow. And so we've already been setting ourselves up for this in the breath, right? So if you've been taking my classes, you hear me say breathing without pausing in the breath cycle. So this is a rhythm in the nervous system in which the nervous system loves it. The nervous system loves it. Finding this parasympathetic response where the body is just breathing in this smooth fashion, no pausing in the breath cycle. So this rhythm is also known as a vinyasa, which means flow. So a locker room term that we have in the Western is to get into the zone, So finding a fluid movement within the breath will allow this fluidity to also take place in the mind, so that the mind is fluid. And when the body is fluid and the mind is fluid, people just seem to be happier. It feels good. It might feel good. So we're going to look for that too throughout the practice. I want to invite you throughout the whole practice to look for pleasant sensations as we foster this flow, this vinyasa through the breath and through the movement, through the stretches and through the exercises. Looking for pleasant sensations. That would be any opportunities for the body to relax, some sense of spaciousness or stillness. You might have a big organic breath, or a yawn or a sigh. These would all be, or tingling, healthy tingling, right? These would all be considered pleasant sensations. And then another category of pleasant sensations are opportunities for the mind to just be still, And you notice yourself to just be present, here, now, content, at peace. Okay. So let's see what we can look and observe throughout the practice. Okay. All right, wonderful. I've gotten a thumbs up from my tech lady. So this is encouraging. So let's go ahead and begin. Breathing in through the nostril and then out through the nostril. No pausing in the breath cycle. In through the nostril and out through the nostril. Smooth, no pausing in the breath cycle. Now I'm going to switch it up. Okay, this is another way of going. In through the nostril and then out through pursed lips like you're blowing out a candle. Breath in through the nostril and out through pursed lips. So same direction. In through the nostril, no pausing in the breath cycle, and then out through pursed lips. It will elongate. The intention is to elongate the breath, and that will help the heart rate drop down and come into that parasympathetic response. So we'll be using these 2 breaths for the most part throughout practice. So let's go ahead and sit up straight, draw your shoulders back and down, lengthen through the back of the neck, broaden through the collarbone. And let's go ahead and start with the neck. So go ahead and looking over to your left, looking over here to your left. You want to just have a nice stretch in the neck as you're lifting up in the inhale through the crown of the head, and then on the exhale through pursed lips as you look over to the left. And no pausing in the breath cycle, smooth, easy, rhythmic breaths with no pausing. In through the nostril and out through pursed lips. And then come back into center. And then looking over the right shoulder, starting with our head mobility, neck mobility, looking up and over the right shoulder now. On the inhale, you're lifting up through the crown of the head and then breathing in through the nostril. And then looking over to the right and exhaling through pursed lips. Breath into the nostril. And exhale through pursed lips. And then come back. And then here's a little extra movement, okay? For this one, just breathe normally. Don't worry about breath, just breathing. No pausing in the breath cycle. But if you forget, that's okay. But breathing in through the nostril and out through the nostril to the best of your ability, no pausing in the breath cycle. So let's go through a little head mobility. So looking over to the left. And then you want to look up. You want to look up like you're looking at a shooting star as you come up and over to the other side. Now you're looking over to the right. And then look up again, looking up like you're looking at a shooting star and coming up and over the other side. And then dropping the chin. You're going to drop the chin, looking down, looking over to the other side. And then dropping the chin, looking down, coming up over to the other side. And then bring the head back into center. And then let's work on opening up the shoulder girdle. So breathing in through the nostril and out through the nostril. Let's go ahead and make our goalposts. So breathing in through the nostril and then breathing out through the nostril, we're just going to invert the goal pose, the goal pose. So just invert it, and then on the inhale, smooth and easy through the rhythm of the breath, no pausing in the breath cycle, no pausing in the movement cycle, as we link up the rhythm of breath and movement. This simple little exercise, we're releasing the fascia so that the shoulders can start to open up and we find some space in the thoracic cavity for the lungs to breathe. And let's go ahead and finish one more right here at the end. We'll finish it and then just go ahead and shake out the arms. And then take your right hand, reach it over the top of your head, and then we're going to take that left hand and we're going to offer a little resistance into the elbow. 10% resistance. That's all we need, 10%. And let's go ahead and press into those fingertips for 7, and 1, and relax, and then come back into it. So we'll do 3 sets of 7 seconds in resistance at 10% effort. This will help release the fascial system. And look for any pleasant sensations. I just had a big organic breath. Look for a great place to look for big organic breaths in here. The lungs are finding space to breathe and release. And now let's do the other side. We're reaching over the top of the head. Go ahead and press into the elbow here. Press into those fingertips. And there's your first 7 seconds, and relax and release, and then come back into the next 7 seconds, pressing 10%. And breathing, finding that rhythm. Look for pleasant sensations. If it feels good, do it well. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it at all. Okay? Or modify it. And then release. That's 3 seconds on, or 3 sets of 7 on each side. And then let's do it across. So grabbing that opposite shoulder, starting with the right arm, and then finding some resistance against the elbow, 10% resistance, pressing into the hand and breathing. No pausing in the breath cycle. 10% effort. We're looking for pleasant sensations. All right. If you don't have a pleasant sensation, that's okay, but we're looking for one. And then relax. And then come back into another 7 seconds. That was a little bit longer than expected, but I'll be right on the nose here. And 7, that's the second, and then the third. All right, pressing into finding that resistance. And then release. We'll shake it out. And then let's take the left arm or the opposite and reach across, and then we'll find resistance into that. All right. 7 seconds, finding pleasant sensations, which should feel good. No pausing in the breath cycle. Into the nostril and out through the nostril. If it feels like you want to release it through pursed lips, that's okay too. And relax. And then coming back into and breathing. And release. That was a big breath for me. And one more. 7 seconds and releasing and release. All right. And then let's go ahead and work on the side bodies again. The other one was pretty good for side bodies, but this is a little bit better. So hands behind your head. And then you want to just, I'll be your mirror. So you go up and over to your right. So you're lifting up through the left armpit and breathing. So you're lifting up, pushing up those ribs. The intercostals are lifting up to the ceiling, and look for that smooth rhythmic breath. No pausing in the breath cycle. Look for pleasant sensations. Look for the sweet spot. and then come on back up. And then we'll go back up and over the other way. So the sweet spot on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you don't feel anything, 10 is sharp and painful. You're looking for that 4, 5, 6 level of intensity. That is the sweet spot. That is the sweet spot where our nervous system is engaged and it feels safe. It's engaged and we learn. We learn the most in this level of intensity. Too little, come on back up. If we don't have enough intensity, we don't feel anything. If we have too much intensity, we don't like it. So we want to find the sweet spot. Okay, shake that out. And then a twist. Twist. So hand on the tailbone. Pardon me. And then you want to twist up and then over. So you want to continue to lengthen through the top of the head on the inhale and then exhaling, twisting over to the right. These twists are super important for health of the spine. Lifting up, and then over. And breathing. No pausing in the breath cycle. And then come back to center. And then left hand to the tailbone, and then your right hand to the to the opposite knee. And lengthening up through the top of your head and exhaling over to the left. No pausing in the breath cycle. Find the sweet spot. And then come back to center. And notice any pleasant sensations. All right. And then the next exercise we're going to do, it seems like it's for the lower body, but it is for the upper body as well. And that is a wide-legged squat. A wide-legged squat. And so take your feet at about a 45-degree angle and then start bringing the tailbone down. Now, if you need to use a block or cushion for support, the most important part of this is to find comfort. And then we can just let gravity do its job. So the tailbone is working towards the mat. The hips are opening. And there's this elongation of the spine. It's a wonderful way of creating space for the lower back. And I suggest 2 minutes a day, at least. And we won't get that far. We won't do quite 2 minutes, but I suggest 2 minutes. And over time, with consistent practice, the consistency is the most important. I have found in myself to be feeling way better in my body, way better in my body. All right. It's not 100%. And of course, you want to consult any physicians or anything along those lines if you have injuries or chronic issues. But in general, just squatting like this is tremendous and offers benefits that I don't have enough time to explain. And breathing. Mm-hmm. And then a good way to come out of this one and transitioning out of the wide-legged squat is to just straighten out your legs. And then you see this tapotment. This tapotment. It just makes that fascia release. It should feel good. Okay, it should feel good. And then the next one also, the next exercise we're going to do or pose we're going to do, you think is just a lower body. but it helps the upper body so much that we're going to do it, and that is child's pose. So open up your knees. The toes come together, knees are open, and then you want to start reaching forward, bringing the torso down to the mat. And the head comes down. And bring your forehead down to the mat. You can even rock your forehead back and forth, massaging the forehead, that prefrontal lobe activation. And this is opening up the hips so that the upper body can relax. And then also, if you can notice that there's an inversion here. And breathe. Enjoy. And then release, and then start coming on back up. All right. And we'll come back to seat. And then let's work on wrists and the phalanges. You would, again, working the fingers and the wrist is also working the brain. So let's go ahead and bring the phalanges, bring the fingers together like a point, like you're grabbing a pencil from all directions here, and then open up, and then close and open, like this. And if you do this consistently, okay, consistent practice, your fingers as we age will feel way better because it's working that fascia and you're linking central and peripheral nervous system. Okay, and then straight up, and then we're going to do the windshield wiper. Okay. And then down. Okay, and then just shake it out. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to stimulate the 12 cranial nerves as well as all of the major glands so that this nervous system can keep coming back into that, or come and rest in the parasympathetic. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a hug. Give yourself a hug, right arm over left, and you can rub the shoulders. Now, nose nice and straight. We're going to be moving the eyeballs left and right and up and down, okay? And then in through the nostril and out through pursed lips on the breathing cycle. So looking your eyeballs to the left, big breath in through the nostril. And your eyeballs to the right, exhale through pursed lips. Breath in through the nostril, looking left. And let it go, looking right. And then switch it up. Left arm over right, and this time nose nice and straight. This time your eyeballs to the top of your head. Big breath in through the nostril, looking up. And let it go, looking down. Breath in through the nostril, looking up. And then let it go, looking down. And then shake it out. And then the next little exercise, I call it snap and tap, turning off the TV. So you just give a little snap in your peripheral vision. All right. And then a little tap. Now the TV in the head, look right at the TV in the head. And a little tap, giving a little calm check, left and right hemisphere of the brain. And a little snap, looking left. And a snap, looking right. Man, I'm having a little problem. I apologize for my feel like a crusty old Marine. I guess I am. All right, and shake it out. And then look right at the TV in your head. What do you see? I hope you're just seeing what you're seeing. But can you see that you're turning the TV off in the head? All right. Next one is thumbs on the temple. And then you want to massage the forehead. We want to bring that blood flow into the prefrontal lobe, the neocortex. Curious, open, allowing, and loving. Curious, open, allowing, and loving. Curious, open, allowing, and loving. So this is a way to bring blood flow into your prefrontal lobe, your neocortex. This is where we're inspired, where we're curious, where we learn, where we look at different perspectives, where we're open to different perspectives. All right, and then shake that out. And then a little tap up the arm. And then a tap up the other arm. Just kind of tap all the way down, go touch your toes and back up. And then you want to touch the left shoulder to the right knee, the right shoulder to the left knee. Criss, cross, apple, sauce. All right. Crisscross, applesauce. Crisscross, applesauce. And then the bones of the face, tapping the bones of the face. About a half a dozen times, the eyebrows, in between the eyebrow, cheekbone, other cheekbone, and then the jaw, collarbone. And then tapping the forehead right over the top of the head to about C7. All right. And then let's bring the practice into the rest of the day. So draw your shoulders back and down, lengthen through the back of the neck, broaden through the collarbone. From the tailbone right up to the spine to the top of the head, and let the head just naturally be on top of your center of gravity. This is grounded, centered here, now. Notice how the body can relax on top of your center of gravity, or you're not fighting against your own head. In through the nostril and out through the nostril, no pausing in the breath cycle. This rhythm of breathing will allow the animal brain to relax and the parasympathetic nervous system to engage, feeling safe, attentive, grounded, and engaged. Look for the sweet spot in everything you do. That 4, 5, 6 level of engagement where you are engaged yet relaxed. And then throughout the day, look for opportunities for pleasant sensations, for the body to relax. Big organic breaths, sighs, yawns, or any opportunity for the mind to be still. And you find yourself to be present here, now, contained, at peace. I want to thank you for sharing your yoga practice with me today. From one veteran to another, and all those that care for us, love us, and support us. Have an amazing day. Be safe. Have fun. Be engaged. Namaste.